discuss together what they might do to Jesus. The gospel.
There emerges the sun horizontally. Normally we see the sun coming up vertically, but that cloud is moving so timely to see the sun emerging sideways. There was a line I missed yesterday to comment, and it really was appealing to me a lot. In the end of the first reading of the Book of Wisdom, about light coming from above, the Spirit from above coming to put order into our ways. Oh, yeah, most of you stayed on there, that's good. So that wisdom and light from above, that Spirit that's assisting us to correct our ways, to order our ways. And that's a very interesting thought. It's hard to order a room with it. It's saying trying to connect again. Oh wow. Now that wasn't because of my Wi-Fi work, but something happened there to disconnect everybody. And I'm sorry about that. But it was independent of the Wi-Fi connection because I already disabled that. So something went wrong there. But most of you are back again now, so that's good. So we're going to venture a little south. I think all the campers have gone, I imagine. I haven't been over there for a while because the school year is starting for a lot of people. And the studies resume. This path, we haven't come through here for a while. Look at the way it's overgrown. How fast a path overgrows. How tending to things by humans is very important. We have to tend in a way that's helpful and not destructive. Oh, there we have a beautiful purple heron very close to us. I wonder how long she'll stay there if I come a little closer to line her up with the light. Oh, another one just parted. Oh, look at this guy here. There goes our purple heron. So that's our nutria. Oh, there's another one. All the life at the edge of the water in the early morning. Look at this drape of parasite here, this plant that's streaming from the trees and it's killing them. So today we have a number of instances in both readings of that impact of that gift from above, a free gift which is also called grace, coming to straighten our pathways and give them light, enlighten them. And the light shone in the dark. And they're interesting account or witness or testimony or instance of life of the new community emerging. And Paul issues a condemnation with full authority, and not of his own making, because in the Acts of the Apostles, I'm trying to remember which chapter it was, the apostles decide not to impose the whole Mosaic laws, ritual practices on the pagans coming to Christianity. They didn't need to be burdened by all of that, but they did need to keep some very basic things in terms of idolatry and also in the area of sexual order. And that's a very relevant point for today. And so the one who believes in Christ and who is part of the community enters into that new life. And that light comes in and brings order in the jungle of decadent lifestyles. And we're at an interesting time in history when that Christian message had transformed huge swaths of culture worldwide. But now with the receding of the influence of the gospel, people have dissociated themselves or have not been brought into that communion, into that community of faith. And a bit of that chaos is returning, that jungle. And then we cannot go out first with our moral norm. We have to go out with the message of salvation and the message and gift of Christ. That gift from above, which brings so much light and order. For example, the order that forgiveness brings. Because let's say we have a regime that works on revenge. And that becomes very destructive of humanity, because there's going to be no end to revenge. A culture of mercy transforming that kind of jungle of revenge and the law of the most powerful eventually. And also in the area of sexuality. And there's a very strong case there. I think I'm going to talk a bit more about it at Mass this evening, because it's a more involved subject. And then there's another piece of order that comes in the second part of Paul's reading, is about boasting. To not boast. That's very, very interesting, because boasting is also a disorder. Your boasting is not appropriate. Do you not know that a little yeast leavens all the dough? So our lifestyle, each one of us, affects the lifestyle of those around us. And the way we act creates patterns for those around us. And here Paul grabs an image from the Jewish culture and talks about the leaven. We had the unleavened bread, you remember? And the old leaven needs to be taken out and replaced by new leaven, with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth, not of malice and wickedness. And if we just glance over to the Gospels, that's where we see today in the synagogue again a great deal of envy and jealousy, which are not good virtues, people. And then anger and hostility and will to kill in people who are gathered with religious motivations and foundations. To get rid of the old leaven. And don't tell me that these temptations don't affect Christians' hearts. Envy, jealousy. And there may be injustices, and there may be a little bit of disappointment, and maybe even we have emotions of anger. But how do we control them? Are we always complaining? Do we always have a chip on our shoulder? It's wonderful to see people who overcome physical disabilities, and you have the Olympics for the physically impaired. And that's a great example for our spiritual life and our social life. There can be injustices and situations in life that create a new obstacle for us that isn't fair. But how do we deal with it? Are we going to keep complaining that life isn't fair? Or are we going to be transformed by the new leaven? Because our faith has consequences, and it transforms our lives. And our lives will be transformed, not because of some commando, but there's a true transformation of the heart and the will to see things from a different perspective. We don't have to perch forever on a withered branch of complaining spirit that doesn't produce anything good, only sourness in our mind, in our heart, in our soul, in our social relationships, a perpetual bitterness and complaining, which is the opposite of boasting. They're both kind of the same, because the boasting presumes that it's all mine. And I did it. And most everything is a gift. And then the complaining means all the problem is the other one. So take up your own responsibility. Do good where you are. There's always somebody needy near you who can be wonderfully blessed by the beautiful gifts each of us have. No matter what other circumstances exist, even within a prison, even in a hospital, even in a surgery room. That patient who offers a smile to the doctors of appreciation and gratitude and confidence. And little baby doesn't do much in terms of supporting life, but with that smile for the parents, it's all the support they need. Basically, it's a huge support. Let's leave it like that for today, people. God bless you. See you later, alligators. It's good to be here. The camp is very quiet, nobody here. I think they did some cleaning up this morning, or yesterday rather. This morning is too early. There's still more cleaning up needed. See you later, alligators.